Hey guys, it's your old pal Tony Giles TG here, host of The Record Room, and recently the good brothers from Holy Mountain Printing reached out to me and said, could I make a small video just recommending some film scores or soundtracks to keep people occupied while we're in the lockdown. And I of course jumped at the chance, because if there is one thing I love doing, is recommending film scores on vinyl. And so I've picked out some of my favorites here, and I'm going to kick things off with the amazing score to Killing Spree by Perry Monroe. Now, I love this record. I still haven't seen the film. I think it's on YouTube, but I'm yet to see it. But this score, this soundtrack, this is kind of lo-fi 80s synth at its absolute best. In fact, lo-fi maybe not be the right term. You know, if you think Slumber Party Massacre, you're kind of in the right ballpark, but this is, dare I say, a tad more professional. It sounds more put together. And this score has quite possibly the best end title song ever. The Beast Within is the end title track on this album, and essentially it's a rap song that recounts the story of the film, which, even though I haven't seen the film, I don't feel like I need to, because I've listened to The Beast Within several times. And this being a TerrorVision release, they have gone all out on the packaging. The album comes in this really killer gatefold sleeve. It's a single LP, but yet you still get this brilliant gatefold. Some nice artwork on the back there, some stills from the film. And as for the vinyl itself, well, it comes in this really sweet and slick looking printed inner sleeve. And it comes on, I love this. You kind of have to shine it up to the light. I don't know how much of this you'll see on camera, but if you shine a light behind this, it kind of looks like brain matter, or blood and bone and bits of viscera, which, you know, I'm all for on a record. I'm all for records looking like that. If you haven't heard Killing Spree, do yourself a favor, head on over to the TerrorVision Bandcamp page, where you can actually pick up a copy of the album and give it a listen while you're at it. Now my next pick, this comes from the folks over at Invader Records in the UK, and this is the reissued deluxe edition of Craig Safan's score for Warning Sign. If you haven't seen the film Warning Sign, check it out. It is, it's something. It's a really awesome film, big budget film as well. And Invader Records released this a few years ago now. I want to say it was like 2014, something around that time. And what they did was they took the original score and reissued that, but then they also added a disc of bonus cues as well. So essentially you get 2 LPs for the price of one, which is pretty superb in my opinion. It's a single sleeve, so you get 2 LPs in one jacket. You also do get this pretty cool printed insert as well, with some notes from Craig Safan, the composer on the film, and also some notes from George Ginn, who, if you are based in the UK and you are a soundtrack collector, you may be well familiar with George. George ran a record store specializing in film music soundtracks on vinyl. He no longer runs the shop, but the shop is still there. So if that interests you, definitely check it out online. But the album itself, it's 2 discs, and it just looks awesome. It's a really killer looking disc. Both discs looks the same, so I don't need to show you both of them. But the bonus cues for this are equally as good as the full score itself. So definitely worth checking out. I know sometimes bonus material kind of feels like leftovers or B-sides. Not with this. It sounds really good, and Warning Sign is one of those records I definitely recommend to everybody out there. If you've never checked it out, do yourself a favor. Give Warning Sign a listen. Now my next pick, this comes from the folk over at the Ship to Shore Phonoco, and this is the score for the very underrated George A. Romero film Martin, the story of a young man who is a vampire, isn't a vampire, is he or isn't he? You'll have to see the film to find out. But the score for this film, it's dripping with so much emotion, so much melancholy, and there is also some fabulous jazz moments on this. Donald Rubinstein, who composed the music for this film, did an absolutely fantastic job on this score. And this came out in 2015, so this is around 5 years old now. May not be available, but if you like the sound of that, I would say go and check out some samples online. And this artwork is just It helps if you've seen the film, but I mean, even if you haven't, it's just so unbelievably striking. And as with all the records, all the releases that come from Ship to Shore, it's of the highest quality. You do get this really nice printed inner sleeve with some notes from Donald Rubinstein, and the record itself comes on a black marble, which is something you don't really see that often. Most of the time a marble effect is something that you can kind of hold up to the light and shine through, but this is black with a really faint white marble, and I think it looks fantastic. It really kind of, it gets over the subtlety of the score, because the score in places is really subtle and really gentle, which isn't something you kind of associate with. It is a horror flick, I would say, kind of-ish. It's not something you would normally associate with that kind of genre of films, but Martin is definitely a score that I would recommend to everybody out there. If you're looking for something a little bit different, definitely give that one a go. Well, the guys only asked me for 3, but I'm going to sneak one more in here. And this isn't actually a soundtrack, but this is something, if you're looking for a way to while away some time, this is something I'd recommend to everyone. This is The Human Chair, released through the Cadabra Records, and this is read by Lawrence R. Harvey with music by the Slasher Film Festival Strategy. For you see, this is an audio story set to an amazing score released on vinyl. If you're not hip to what Cadabra Records do, go and get yourself well and truly clued up. Cadabra Records are doing some amazing stuff. As always, their packaging is just first class. I mean, you can see probably how shiny this is just from the lights bouncing off of it, but you get this incredible gatefold here with a really extensive essay. And the story itself, read by Lawrence Harvey, is so undeniably creepy. I don't know if it's just the way he reads it, the way the story is written. It's unnerving in so many ways. And Christopher from Slasher Film Festival Strategy, his score is just superb. And this, the version I have, there are a few different versions of this, but this comes on a nice clear black and white smoke, or black and grey smoke, I guess you could say. It looks good and it sounds great. You literally could not ask for more. And if you're looking for something a little bit different to listen to that's not a film score, but you know, you kind of want to be entertained, a Cadabra Records release will well and truly steer you in the right direction. But that's it from me, guys. Remember, you can check out the Record Room exclusively over on Patreon. But for now, stay inside, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, and stay safe out there.